What's up, guys? Bringing back another, video for this video series. We've made it to Tier 7 on this British TD line. The AT7, quite unique tank, as you can see right here, because the gun is mounted all the way on the tank's right. So if you're looking from a third-person view here, you can actually kind of use pretty much any sort of tactic where you can actually hide your tank and basically just peek around a corner with this much of your tank showing here. That means it's going to be covering up most of your weak points, probably most of the cupola, most of this frontal weak spot here, along with the AA guns, and everything that's flat on your tank is going to be behind a wall. So that's just a preliminary thing for this AT7, just a little fun little tactic that you can use, and you'll see me use that in some of the gameplay. So yeah, let's get started with this review. Alright, so the first thing to go over about this AT7 is going to be the massive Type A barrel 20 pounder. This AT gun is pretty much an assault version, I'd like to say, the Carnarvon's gun. Either that or the Conqueror. Let's check. Yeah, the Karn's gun. So pretty much, if we compare these two here, it's an 83mm cannon with, the AT7s being on the left, Carnarvon, Conqueror, whatever, medium on the right. Its alpha is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's a little bit, not necessarily low, but for its rate of fire, I'll compare it to, basically the only thing I can compare it to is going to be the Tiger 88 with its rate of fire and alpha output, so you'll see that in a second. Its average damage is 230, same as, the other 20 pounder for the mediums and heavies. Rate of fire is going to be significantly increased due to the non-turreted, superstructure of this AT7, which is 10.34. Now that's going to yield around a 5-second reload, maybe a little bit lower with events and stuff. So that's also a plus. You do have the increased accuracy at 0.31, which is actually the same as many German TDs. So you're going to be in line with them, with the accuracy and aim time at 2.1 seconds. So that being said, it's a great little spammy cannon. DPM's definitely way up there for Tier 7. You also have a, not really high penning APCR round, but it is a little bit of an increase at 32 extra pen at 258mm penetration. So for Tier 7, 226 standard pen is just ridiculous, and I think that's going to be enough to really punch through anything. Actually, Tier 7 through 9, even if you get a low tier game. So, I guess the next part about this tank that we'll go over is pretty much the loadout for what I carry. I do have this thing completely upgraded, so I'll have the max capacity for anything to load. So, just before that, I'll go over view range and signal range. View range is actually pretty good. I mean, standard for Tier 7 TDs, 350 meters. Signal range is increased to 700 meters because the AT2 and the AT8 did not have that good of a signal range. I believe this thing is a little bit better at 700. Now, like I said, the engine's mobility, traverse speed on this thing is going to be pitiful. But for the armor layout that you get on this, where you can also hide your weak spots around corners, it's going to be a bit better, than the AT8, in my opinion. You do get this more heavily armored frontal here, as opposed to just a big flat spot that was on the AT8. So that's also a plus. You do have some little rangefinder type deal here with these two little, I guess, scopes, if you will. You do have one up here and back there also. So, back to it. The loadout. Equipment was on sale. I picked up a few stuff for other tanks, but I picked up the AT7 today, so I'm actually not going to be able to load equipment for a little bit because I am running low on credits. For ideal equipment, I would guess say medium tank gun, or medium caliber tank gun rammer. Possibly, obviously, you want vents because it is going to be a DPM machine, so I'll definitely load vents eventually. For the third one, I guess that's up to you. I do not see a need for an enhanced gun laying drive because this thing's aim time and spammy gun will deal with that on its own. Other viable ones, I'd say a camo net, or maybe I'd probably go with binocs to be honest, because you might be sniping in this tank a little bit when bottom tier. So either coated optics or binocs, possibly a camo net instead of vents. You know, it's up to you, but I would say medium tank gun rammer, uh, you know, binocs or coated optics, and then vents for the three. Now, as crew skills go, I'm up to tier 7, and I still don't have a full crew because I've been grinding this so fast. So, you know, I'm at 63%, and the times 3 crew experience weekend definitely helped for that. So we will be grinding this out for a while, because the AT-15, I believe, is like, yeah, 92,000. So we'll be able to hopefully get 1 crew skill and 6 cents done by then. Other than that, you know, 6 cents isn't necessarily a priority on this tank, because you're going to be sniping, so it's not really, you know, you don't really need it at tier 7. Definitely by the AT-15 you need at least 1 crew skill, so I'll go ahead and say that. So as tank shells go, like I said, penetration on this thing, 226 average is just ridiculous, so I'd go 40 AP, possibly 35. I'm actually going to do that now just for gameplay sake. 35 AP, 10 gold, and 5 HE just for, you know, finishing off tanks or resetting cap, which you may actually have to do in this tank because you will be towards cap on some of the maps camping. So consumables, small repair kit, small first aid kit, automatic fire extinguisher. Definitely worth it with that automatic fire extinguisher in the long run. And trying to think of what else I could really explain for this tank, you know, other than the armor scheme where you're, you know, like I said a million times, you're going to be hiding most of your tank. That's pretty much it for this beginning part, and stay tuned for some gameplay. Alright, gameplay number 1. We're gonna go ahead and go into battle, just because I can, and I feel like it. So hopefully we get a top tier game, possibly a tier 8, because there are many tier 8s in queue. Looks like we got a game, and tier 9, but it is on Himmelsdorf, so this will be a plus. Might be able to show that tactic where I hide my hole, or rather most of my hole. So we are going to go down rail yard because I do not feel the need to go down the heavy line. I might reroute there once things start getting into position, but for the most part I'm going to show you guys that ridiculous tactic that you can use, hiding your whole armor. So here we go, waiting for the game to start. So, rocking that 20 kilometers an hour. Now, as you guys saw on normal terrain, especially with this, you know, city map here, this thing's engine is quite, not necessarily quick because it's governed at 20, but you get up to speed on easy terrain pretty quickly. So I'm lagging quite a bit here, you know, 19 FPS, so I'm actually going to stop my tank here, end the video, and then, change down my settings a little bit, so stay tuned guys. Alright, so I assumed my position, turn shadow quality off and texture quality a little bit down, because I am using a higher end graphics recording software right now, because I'm not really using OBS, because I didn't feel like using that, just because I'm trying out this new one. So we do have a YOLOing KV5 coming up right through the west side here, so he went wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to camp up right here actually. Wait for this KV5 to come through like a retard and hide in my hole. So here he comes, get some shots into him. And he decides not to stop, so looks like we're gonna track him hopefully. Keep the damage output going. So he's on fire, so we're gonna go ahead, try and finish this guy off if he doesn't burn to death, which he is dead already, as we got hit by a T-54, put one shot into him and it missed. That was a nice quick snapshot by him, and it looks like he penned me in my AA gun, so, you know, good shot by him. So we are going to wait things out. Actually move up to this building over here because the FCM is covering me. And there are quite a few TDs on their team that have not been spotted yet. But our Hill's doing well, and it looks like our Artie's going TD mode. Yeah, kudos to him. Whoa, stop pushing me, FCM. Alright, so FCM pushed me out, whatever. Shoot this Yak Panther. Like I said, this thing basically auto-pens tanks because its penetration is so good. Go ahead, hide behind this FCM, wait for this Yak Panther to peek out if he wants to. Does look like there's an E75 in the open, so I'm gonna run away, angle myself. Gonna let that T-54 stay there for now because I am not really scared of him. However, there's a Black Prince coming, so I'm going to get the hell out of here and angle myself around like so. So here's that tactic that's just ridiculous. I'm able to cover basically 90% of my hull and track him, buy myself some time while my teammates move up into that E75. So hopefully this Black Prince will come out. Doesn't look like he wants to though, so pretty much waiting for my teammates to flank, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can finish off the C75, whose butt is facing me. Amen. Take a shot, I bounce this turret, and here we go. This will be the kill shot. There we go, got the E75, and now I'm going to push the Black Prince. Or it looks like he's coming around. That was actually an auto spot, so I should be spotted too. I knew that was coming, already, but we'll see what we can do here since he's reloading. Now his T-54 is coming back, so I'm going to back the hell up, as they already hit me once again. So that's another thing, you know, without 6th Sense, you know, you kinda risk being shot by already not knowing, but, you know, it is what it is. The Crusader SP is definitely missing, so I'm gonna go ahead and reset my camo once that, guy dies. Oh god, T-54, don't kill me, please. Ah, it rammed me. See if I can track this guy. I need to track him. Can't see him. Get around him as he bounced. Basically just got a wiggle, and wow, that was a fail by him. So, you know, if you can wiggle like I did there, they definitely miss your weak spots. It's another thing. It's kind of like a KV5 where you try and time the enemy's shots and outmaneuver the enemy by making them whiff at your weak spots. So pretty much overall good game. You definitely got to see that tactic where I hide my hull. Didn't bounce many shots towards that Black Prince because he didn't want to push me, but if he did push me, you would see me plink so many shots. So that's the first gameplay, guys. I mean, definitely good way of showing the tactics. I lucked down, got Himmelsdorf with his actually the best map for that hiding of the hole, if you will. So third on the team damage-wise, also XP-wise. Looks like the C75 got high caliber and steel wall with lots of potential damage. My potential damage was somewhat up there, especially for only having 1,250 hit points. 3,260 potential damage. Let's check out the detailed report. You know, shells on this tank are so cheap, so, you know, only fired 13 rounds, 5,000, you know, credits for that. Made a net profit of 15,702 credits, you know, landed 8 out of my 13 shots for pens, got some decent XP, you know, 902 base, that's pretty good for being low tier. So that's that. We'll have one more gameplay, hopefully a replay that's a little bit better, and yeah, stay tuned, guys. Alright, so I'm going to decide and add one extra gameplay in, you know, just because this tank is so good. AT7, for the most part, definitely a great tier 7. I love this tank so much, just its DPM and just the extra gun, the 20-pounder that you get as opposed to the 17-pounder on the AT8 is just such an upgrade. I mean, the penetration is pretty much an auto pen for most of these tier 8 and 7 games. You also, you know, like I said, you have the whole armor that you can actually rely on by covering your weak spots. And it's just way better, in my opinion, than the AT8. Definitely on par with many other tier 7s. I mean, only other good tier 7s that I personally like are, you know, the Russian TDs, whether it be the SU-152 or the premium SU-44 or 122-44. I also am obsessed with the E-25 because I love that tank. But this thing is definitely up there. I might actually keep this thing, you know, buy it back. I definitely won't keep it right away because I'll need to grind a new crew. But I'm loving this tank, so I might actually buy this back eventually. And like I said, this thing, it gets up to speed quite fast, and I'm on tough terrain right here, and I'm beating out this T-28, which isn't saying much, but I did accelerate way quicker than him. And also, I didn't know, the engines on this thing are so cheap to research. It's only 1,500 XP at tier 7, so, you know, it has one upgraded engine for 1.5k experience, and that's like 2 games. So, definitely pick that up, and you'll be zooming up to 20 kilometers an hour. Which, you know, isn't saying much, but 20 kilometers an hour getting up to speed is really what you want in this tank. So that's a destructible house, apparently, so I'm just going to go right through this. We did spot a couple people there. There's an enemy KV-4 out in the open, so I'm going to see if I can shoot him. Who was actually fully upgraded, just sitting there, so get some shots into him. See if we can pen his cupola. Which apparently we missed, and he went unspotted. So I'll see if I can light him again, hopefully. And I definitely have not been lit yet, because Artie is not on me. There's the KV-4. Oh, now I'm lit, so we're going to say, take one more shot. Got a pen in his turret cheek. Now we are going to pull back due to Artie. Let that KV-4 get shot by our IS. I'm going to do something ballsy. Oh, never mind. People are shooting at me from the west. Yeah, there's got to be something down over, like, here. The little crest shooting. So, right now I guess we play the waiting game. I'm going to actually take a little bit of ballsy move, like I said. I'm going to try and get to one house over. To this house right in front of me. Hopefully my flanks will not be shot, as it looks like I got away with the cover here. So these guys are getting pooped on by the Cromwell, and that Cromwell's not even a good player, so I'm gonna friggin' help them out. Just gotta support this east side, which they do have quite a lot of tanks over here, so I'll hopefully shoot this scout and T-69 if they stay spotted. So coming through here, looks like the scout got out of the way. Now I should have pretty good flank shots on this KV-4 and T-28, but it does not look like they're... Yeah, they're all the way at C1, so they're going to be behind. Prototype moved up there, so that means I have a nice opportunity to take another look on this eastern flank. However, I'm going to have to move back to the west flank once those guys clear out, because we are going to die on the west flank, but I need to support this side right now. So T-69 is pulling back, so I'm going to shoot this guy. Hopefully get one more shot on him, and he is dead. So we're going to take out this T-21, who is spotting all of our teammates. And he ran away. So if he wants to peek, we'll shoot him, but he actually needs to move back for us to shoot him, so... By the looks of it, he's tracked, so he might back up. Oh, he's going forward. Here's the backup. I whiffed the shot, so... He may be cresting over, so we'll take a blind shot, and he looks like he went all the way back down. So, we're just gonna move up, basically towards the enemy spawn in a friggin' AT-7, which is pretty fun. It's something that rarely happens. So there's a T-29, he's all the way in the back. Looks like they actually managed to clear out that KV-4 and whatever was over there. So I'm being shot at by what it looks like to be the SU or an E-25 or a Roomba. That was a AT-7, okay, so he's got to be Literally right in front of me. Hopefully I'll be able to spot him first. Even though I'm spotted, I have reset my camo because he stopped shooting at me, so hopefully his T-29 will have the better view range. I'm respotted, so there's the AT-7. He got lit. Time to pew-pew him out. And by looks of it, he's not... Oh, that's the Roomba. Oh no, it's a GW Tiger P, so... Artie is still focusing, as that T-29 died to a T-69, so 69 is still sniping from the ridge line. This Indian Panzer is going to flank around and spot some people. But this T-34-1 really needs to move up and either spot that T-21 or maybe get Artie, but there is a T-69 in the middle, so I don't blame him actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the hell back because Artie has shots on me once I'm lit and I don't have 6th Sense, so a little bit of a predicament. I'm gonna have to be able to support this Indian Panzer, so there we go. SU is up. There's the penetration. And use our 5-second reload to our advantage. Shoot him again. And I need to keep pulling up. I think that missed. Yep, already shot also. Hopefully splashed him. And the SU made it all the way up there unspotted. Wow. Come on, buddy. Keep pulling up, please. Thank you. Oh, he pulled back. So they are pushing this SU quite quickly. Where did that shell go? So he's pulling back. Will he be able to... Wow, these shells are just dropping. Hopefully shoot him one more time. I believe that one hit. It's going to take one more shot. And he's all the way up there. Okay. So that shell actually didn't hit, but we'll be able to do something here. If he pulls back... Nope. We have a T-21 down below with an E-25. So I'm going to go ahead and focus this AT-7 because those mediums theoretically should have this SU, but I don't want to let this one guy die. Ah, I missed. He did whiff the shot on the Pershing, so I'll finish. Never mind, he got him. Ah, silly mediums not being able to kill an AT, or a SU rather. Shot on the AT-7, I believe that hit. And G-Dub finished him off. So, gonna back up due to Artie. Looks like our Artie's going to die. So our T-69 should be able to kill the D-25, but it doesn't look like he's fast enough, so... I'm not gonna be fast enough, but I'll try and help anyway. You know what, our Artie is getting circled, but we do have 3 there, so I'm gonna be the bad guy here and let our Artie die. Because they're irrelevant at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill this Roomba. And he managed to get the E-25 also, so good job to him. Now we can take a shot from this Roomba. Hopefully he'll get spotted when we shoot. It looks like he ended up going back to base, so he's either in the crest. Yep, there he is. He went back down. So he's the last guy left. We could come up behind him here. Use my blazing speed. Now we do not have the gun oppression, so I'm gonna get on this rock right here and shoot him. No, he stopped. Now he's gonna get a penetrating shot on me. And I need to back up. I'm stuck on this rock. God damn it. Oh my god. So whatever. I mean, I got stuck on that rock. Not a good play by me. But we did manage to do a little bit in this game, not too much. You know, already saved a little bit of this, as they got 3 kills at M12 and then a couple other damaging hits by the other Artie. For the most part, you know, I guess I'll round it up to 1200 damage. A little bit support roll. Well, I did hit a few blind hits there on the SU. So AC-48 with a great damage game. You know, he definitely got high caliber. I actually got second most damage, so you know it's good for me. Not as good on the XP rather, so towards the middle of the team. Um, that's basically the second gameplay. I'll go the detailed report. We made 725 credits there. You know, not good accuracy for this game because I was spraying a little bit. I traveled quite a lot on this AT7, so I mean the engine power isn't bad. It's more of just the governed at 20 kilometers an hour. So next we'll have one more gameplay, you know, before we wrap up this video. Hope you guys are liking this so far. If you do, comment, rate, subscribe. Really helps, guys. And yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so this last gameplay we have a Tier 8 game on Runeberg on Fire. Now this is one of those new Runeberg maps, hence the name. It's basically Runeberg retextured to have some improved graphics, which I'm actually going to have to turn my shit down little bit, just because you know, recording with a higher software for this gameplay, just because OBS hasn't been friendly lately. It has, but you know, just the graphics, I have everything turned up and this just records way better. So here we go, gonna, you know, fast forward a little bit. So this was actually one of my first games in the AT7, which I wasn't really, you know, accustomed to the gameplay as much. So, you know, it turned out to be a pretty good game, so it is what I'm going to be using. So, I'm playing this at 2x speed just to, you know, get things a little bit faster. So this AC46 tells me to help him, so, you know, he's a little bit better player than I am, so I'm going to go ahead and help him out, but you'll soon see that he just gets pooped on. So I try and go down the heavy lane and hide my carcass as much as I can around here in the Black Prince. So look at this AC46. Come on, buddy. Pull your ass up. I want to see you die. So, wow. Two-shotted. So that's another thing about the AC46, which I hated when I was playing that. It can't carry because it has no HP and armor. So I do hide myself behind this Black Prince and poop on this IS-3 to perma-track him at the beginning. I put 2 shots into him. And the Black Prince moves up. I'm using him as a shield, and I take a shot into the AT-15, get his cupola. IS pulls out. Looks like the Black Prince pulls back. Take a shot, get a bounce on the AT-15's cupola. So this thing's .31 accuracy is so fun, as I'm just mashing this AT-15 in his cupolas and his weak spots on the left. So to the point where I can actually shoot this IS. I get a very low roll of 199, so not fun there. And looks like our Black Prince pulled up in front of our ISU, or SU, and hits him. So I'm doing the old shoot through his mud flap, but he pulls back and I shoot him for a no damage pen, so I actually believe I turned blue from that in the garage, but that was a stupid move by me. Because I do that with platoon mates, I'll shoot through the mud flaps of their tanks, but not in pubs, you know. So my commander dies, I'm able to re-heal him back up, and I shoot this AT-15 once more in the cupola, and I do get penned, I believe, by the IS for 427 damage. So I snapshot the AT-15 in the, what's it called, the, gun shield, which is actually a very weak part of that tank. Get another snapshot on the IS in the turret cheeks as he's moving away. Now this is a little bit of a predicament. I could either go finish off that VKA, take a shot by the Nashorn, who is not necessarily the best player, but at the same time I see that the VK dies, so I aim in on the Nashorn and I shoot him, angle myself a little bit, get a no damage pen on my tracks, and I try to finish him off. So he gets shot once, twice, and he's dead. So that's basically the wrapping up of this game. You know, it's basically sealed in theory because we have all our heavies left, to the point where we just are outnumbering them. So I do decide to go back to base because I know that our heavies are going to finish those guys off before I can even get there. So I do decide to go back to base and try and find these mediums. There's the T69. 34-1 gets pooped on by our T32, who also came back. And T69 and SFL V Stare Mill have lots of health, so I decide to move up with this KV-1S and shoot them. So KV-1S takes a shot, the T69 tracks him. I do not have the gun arc to hit him because it is right mounted, and I end up missing his track as he pulls forward. So my 5-second reload does allow me to just wait, you know, for this T69 to back up. So I try and shoot down that. It was pretty funny though. I tried shooting down this piece of rubble there, and I actually ran over it after I shot because I forgot that you can shoot through stuff. So I decided to take a shot from this Steramil, and it turns out he's using the stock gun with gold ammo, which is another viable option for that gun. But I decided to, you know, YOLO at him because I have a better fire rate, and it turns out that he tracked me, so my teammates saved me. And the Crusader SP is just duking it out with, looks like to be an SU-152 and a Black Prince. So, Black Prince and the SU, I believe, take out the Crusader SP, so you would think. And that's pretty much the end of the game. So, you know, 2,343 damage, 1 kill. Pretty much a stellar game by this AT-7, just showcasing its ridiculous potential of DPM and its armor. I took quite a lot of hits there. I'll have the after battle reports up soon. Stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, so here is the after battle report slash replay manager, which is a very nice thing that I want to give a shout out to this website, whatreplays.org. Now this is a really cool website. I'll show you guys here that it critiques every little thing about the replay file that you upload. You know, I always recommend having replays turned on. They do add up and take up space on your hard drive eventually, but you know, it's not to the point where it's a lot of space at the start. So it critiques, you know, survived, yes, result, all enemies killed by victory. It does show the amount of damage you received, which was 74% or 927 hit points. It does, you know, average damage per shot, everything about it. It even tells you how much damage you did. It's the same interface as in-game. You know, if you click, you get the critical hits, like on this AT-15, I destroyed his commander and loader. Now, if we go to earnings, it tells you with the premium how much you earn. So nominal XP was 1,095, 1,642 with premium, 800 free XP, because I think 5% gets converted automatically. Earned credits after premium and, you know, consumables, repairs and everything, we have 20,815 net profit. Even tells you the missions that are going on that you completed. You know, I got ×3 crew XP along with these other coefficients for learning by doing, stuff like that. And it even goes with the missions, the current mission, you know, you do 25,000 damage, you get, I think, 75,000 credits, you get 50,000 damage, 150,000 credits. Even tells you the damage win 8, you know, stats on the tanks on your team, which is really cool. It tells you whether that specific performance brought your win 8 up or down. Mine brought it up. Shows you even the chat log. You know, you got everything about the tank. I'm only running a medium caliber tank gun rammer. You know, you got the consumables, all that. Now, the one thing that's really cool is that it shows a heat map of where all the firing and basically the stuff went down on the map, which, you know, it shows the heat map there. And we also have a battle viewer, which is more like a, I guess it's like a, I guess just a flash type thing here, where you click to start, and as you see here, it's counting down, and you see that's me, the little white arrow, and then you have the TDs and mediums artillery for my team, and I think that's the AC-46 up there, along with the chat log. And when you see this AC-46 die, like he did, you're going to see little lasers come from the enemy, and they don't show up until they get spotted, so it's basically like a real-time flash kind of game replay, if you will, from the enemy and you, just of the whole game. So, you know, you got the little health bars and the shots and everything, so this is pretty cool. And you could play it slowly, you could play it pretty much, I think this is 2 times speed, and you got ludicrous, which is ridiculous. So that's pretty cool. You know, that's the replay. I just wanted to give a nice shout out to this whatreplays.org, and I got my Facebook open, it's funny. So, you know, here we go. Next we'll have the you know, just closing thoughts, and I'll critique the last of the AT-7, so stay tuned, guys, for that. Alright, so to close off this video, I just want to state that the AT-7 is pretty much one of my favorite Tier 7s, if not my favorite. Now, the reason being, just because I'm comfortable with this tank, I love its DPM, its alpha is up there, actually in line with another tank that I love, the Jagdtiger 88, which I have made a video review about, but I have not uploaded it yet because I'm too lazy. So, you know, AT-7 in a nutshell, very good Tier 7. one of my favorites. Only other thing I could really compare my liking to is really the Su-122-44, or Su-122-44 as people call it. This is another good tier 7. You know, I like to think of it as a more assault TD version. So AT7, I'm definitely gonna give this like a 9.5 out of 10. You know, it's not OP, but in any way, but it's a great little tank. You know, great tactic to hide your hull. You know, just really strong overall and just balanced in every way. You know, other than mobility, but I don't really have complaints for that at this tier. So, as always, guys, take care on the battlefield. We'll have the AT-15 once I grind it out, which it looks like I'm actually closer to. You know, looks like we need around 77k, so that won't be too long, probably like 3 or 4 days. So stay tuned, guys. We'll have the AT-15 up eventually, and happy tanking.